So I just saw E.T. in IMAX last night, and gotta say, uh, the movie looked great, and it was great to watch in IMAX. And I'm gonna do a little review of the movie here. I was kind of disappointed with how empty the theater was. I get it was a Monday, I get people are going back to school, but I mean, it was empty this weekend too. I mean, you look at the box office numbers for all movies this weekend, it was shit. And I know there was a lot of bad movies that came out this week. I mean, there was about 4 new movies I watched in theaters. Well, actually, sorry, 3. I haven't seen Bodies yet. Review coming later today, possibly, or tomorrow, either one. But the point is, I did watch this movie in theaters, and it was empty, and it was empty this weekend too. And people and it's weird, they were hyping this thing up. I mean, look at this poster. I got this one for my boss. I actually have one for myself, but they were hyping this thing up. It was a big deal, and then nothing. ET kind of just died this weekend. And I hope that doesn't mean the same for Jaws in IMAX. I feel like more people are going to be excited for Jaws in IMAX, because Jaws is an always rewatchable movie. ET is kind of weird. ET is kind of a miserable movie, if you think about it. It's also kind of shot like a horror movie. I really noticed this while I watched it. The government people are shot like literally horror characters. The way they're putting shadows and things like that. So's E.T. E.T. is not cute with the design. He has a horrific scream, and he looks even more horrifying when he's dying in the movie. I guess spoilers for a 40-year-old movie. He doesn't actually die, but again, more spoilers for a 40-year-old movie. I don't know, but it was just interesting thinking about that. And yeah, I mean, this movie's obviously a classic. This movie looked beautiful in IMAX, like I said. And I get why it's shot like a horror movie at points, because like the government thing, for example, the way they shot him like that is because up until that point in the story, they're just faceless schmucks who don't really have any true goals or motivation. But what I really liked about this movie was this. I watched Close Encounters like a month or two ago before watching this movie. And Close Encounters is a good movie. It's another great Spielberg movie. But the thing about Close Encounters is like that movie is very much a 50s sci-fi movie made in the 70s by Steven Spielberg. And that's cool. This movie, however, is not like that. This movie is a very different movie because this movie feels very obviously inspired by stuff like 50s sci-fi, the way they reference Buck Rogers and some older sci-fi movies playing the TV in the background, things like that. There's definitely elements of like a 50s sci-fi movie, but there's a twist to it, which is that the alien is good. That does not happen in movies at this point. Like, nowadays, it's kind of actually a normal for like an alien to be good in a movie, or they're evil, either one. But they can be evil alien, or they can be good alien. It kind of goes either way. If it's a kids movie, they're usually a good alien. If it's like a horror movie, they're usually a bad alien. But you know what I mean? Like, it kind of goes either way. But this is one of the first movies I can think of where that trope of the alien being good is good. And it does it so effectively. I mean, you really enjoy this kid and this alien's bond. It's and it's just fun. It's just a fun movie like The Goonies. But it also, it's just such a unique version of a 50s sci-fi movie while being something totally new and original. Has this amazing John Carpenter score. And while I said earlier the design of E.T. is ugly, I don't mean it's actually ugly. It's actually an appealing character design. Like, I could own a plushie of that. In fact, I do. But, like, I just mean in the sense that he's not, like, the typical kind of cute you would see in, like, a kid's movie thing. And but the character design is great. He's a lovable character. The story's great. And it's just really well done movie. It's excellently directed. The cinematography is great within this movie. It is a great movie. I think that my only issue with this movie, I think it is a little bit too long. Particularly there's a scene where Elliot is at school, and he's like throwing frogs out the window and stuff. And I'm like sitting here like, this scene did not need to be in the movie at all. Like, it just didn't need to be in the movie. There's a couple of scenes like that were like, didn't need to be in the movie. But, you know, overall, this is a pretty much an 8 out of 10 movie. I don't think it's quite like the 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 that most people would say it is. I definitely think it has, again, it's a little bit too long. And I do think that, like, while the movie is great, there are definitely better Spielberg movies. And I also think that it's kind of funny that this has become like a movie that a lot of people show their kids, because if they actually watch this movie, it's pretty horrifying. Again, it's shot like a horror movie. I don't know, it's weird to me, but I really like this movie. I'm a big fan of it, obviously. I mean, I went to go watch it IMAX, one of the most expensive formats to watch a movie in, when I could just watch it at home in 4K, which I did that too. So I just thought it'd be fun to review this movie because I am such a big fan of this movie. And I guess I've never really talked about this movie on my channel before. And it's just because up until this point, I haven't been such a huge fan of E.T., but this movie kind of sucked me in, and I'm like, man, I really do love this movie, don't I? I don't know, I've kind of been more on the fence with this one compared to other Spielberg movies, because it is not like other Spielberg movies, but it also is like other Spielberg movies, and that's kind of what's interesting about it, I guess.